Hey everybody, welcome back to an audio Lisa lesson. And this one's going to be life changing. So hang on, okay? Today I'm talking about breaking free from the dopamine trap. If you have been with me any length of time, you know I lost 100 pounds. You know I studied fat loss, the science. I work with doctors. I work with very smart healthcare institutions, and I've helped women all over the world lose weight and break free. But today is going to really knock your socks off. You are not fighting the brownie. You are not fighting the calorie deficit. You aren't fighting any of that. You are fighting a dopamine addiction. And I am going to arm you today in this short 10 to 12-minute audio how to break free of those things forever. This is going to be a life changing Lisa lesson. What if I told you that the sugar, the flour, the alcohol, even scrolling from your phone, TV, endless binging on Netflix, did somebody like my post? I mean, on and on. Those things aren't the reason that you're really struggling. You're struggling because your body is craving a dopamine hit, and a fake dopamine hit seems so much better than a real dopamine hit. And your brain's been hijacked by dopamine addiction. If you said things like, I'm off the wagon, I can't stop snacking, and once I have one, I have to eat them all of that. Why do I feel stuck? Why do I keep repeating the same thing day after day? I've been battling this for 30, 40, 50 years. I'm going to give you the exact steps today to take back control and break free today. This session, right now, end of story. You're going to be able to break free. My name is Lisa Asbell. I'm an RN, I'm a coach. I love helping people transform their thoughts and transform their lives. I've watched it. I've watched it in women, men, teenagers all over the world transform their thoughts about food and how they eat. And today, this is going to be life changing for you. It's probably one of the most important Lisa lessons I've ever done. Mark the date. Every person on the planet needs to hear this. And if you struggle with excess weight, emotional eating, cravings that control you, you really need to hear it. And when I talk to you, I'm talking to me always. These are things I've studied, these are things I've learned, these are things that I've walked through myself. By the end of this audio, you will understand why you keep reaching for the sugar, the flour, the alcohol, the social media, all of those things, the phone, the games, the Netflix. You'll understand how dopamine is hijacking your brain and making you crave even more. And you will be inspired to do a 7-day dopamine reset and take back control. If you like what you're hearing so far, go on over to lisaasbell.com and subscribe. You're going to get access to a free library, and about 75% of that has to do with weight loss, weight maintenance, but 25% has to do with how to live a happier, healthier life. And I am all about the science. All right, so let's talk about it a little bit. Sugar and flour hits the brain like a drug. It's more addictive than cocaine. It's not just about the weight. It's not just about your waistline. It's not just about insulin resistance and ghrelin and leptin, and all that's true. Sugar and flour kill all of those things, and you're working against yourself. Every time you say yes to sugar and flour, you're saying no to the body and the health you want. Every time you say yes to alcohol, it is a temporary dopamine, but long term, it lowers natural dopamine levels, making you more anxious, more unmotivated. Oh boy, social media scrolling, the same thing. Every swipe is a dopamine hit, but the less you scroll, the less you worry about it. The more you scroll, the less motivated you feel in real life. Wow. What about shopping addiction or binge eating, emotional eating? The minute you start thinking about it, that the excitement rises and rises and rises. And then the minute you have it, even shopping, you go, do I really need it? Will you even wear it? Does it just become more clutter? Oh, all of these things are tied together with those of us who've been seeking a dopamine hit through food all these years and we just didn't know. You heard me mention just a minute ago about how flour and sugar hijack your hormones and work against your stomach, and they don't make you feel full when you should feel full, and they make you feel hungry all the time, and the leptin resistance is real. And then the ghrelin, spikes, and it's just an awful, awful cycle of the more you crave, the more you eat, the more you eat, the more you crave. And the results is you're eating all the time, even when you're not hungry, even though you had a plan, even though you portioned out your food, even though you said, I'm only going to have one, you cannot stop it because dopamine seems more powerful than you. This is why so many people can't just have a little bit. And if you've been around long enough with all the things that I've been teaching all these years, you will know that less than 25 grams of added sugar would help with that, which might be a couple of Hershey Kisses or a bite of a candy bar. But it's very, very minimal. So, how about considering a dopamine reset? What would that look like? That would look like no alcohol, no added flour or sugar, no mindless scrolling, no hours of Netflix, no shopping for a dopamine hit, not even online. And what would that would look like? That would look like replacing it with morning sunlight. That resets your dopamine and boosts your energy. A cold shower. Oh, yeah. That can boost your dopamine by 250% naturally. Exercise, even just a 10-minute walk, will immediately stop cravings. Music, movement, dancing, laughing, singing, that's an instant dopamine booster. What about trying something new? Your brain wants fresh experience. We talk about self-care. We talk about a bath. We talk about all of, learning to paint, learning, getting back to sewing, learning pottery, taking a new class. All of those are ways to replace the fake dopamine with natural dopamine. Could you say this statement with me? Could you write it down somewhere? It's not that I want the food, it's a dopamine addiction. It's not that I want the food, it's a dopamine addiction. It's not the food, it's a dopamine addiction. It's not the food, it's a dopamine addiction. That's what it is. And to be able to fix that, we have to, this is step 3, rewire your identity. So here we go. Let's think about this, saying, I can't quit sugar. I can't making those comments. I can't stop. Once I'm off the wagon, I can't stop. How about I am breaking free from dopamine addiction? I am powerful. I am in control. It is not the food, it's a dopamine addiction. You are not craving the food, you're craving a dopamine addiction. You may think you feel it, it feels very real. The claws of addiction, if you all know, if you've seen somebody suffer with alcohol addiction or drug addiction, if you've seen a person that is addicted to gambling, or, even yourself, if it's binge eating or whatever it is, you've seen what addiction does, and you've seen how it just controls every thought, every hour, every day. Most of my clients aren't thinking about the strawberries they can eat, they're thinking about those creamy, addictive things. And most of the time, flour and sugar are the culprits. So, hey, if this is speaking to you today, this is all backed by science. There's so many resources out there. All you have to do is Google it, okay? And I have helped thousands of women break free and get control of their eating habits, their poor exercise habits, their poor negative thinking habits. I'd love to help you too. Subscribe here, leave me a comment what you liked about today's session, and be sure to go to lisasbell.com too. So every time you say yes to sugar, alcohol, or scrolling, if those things are impacting you, if you are getting a dopamine hit, if you are overweight and you want to lose weight and you know it's too much sugar or too much alcohol or too much flour, then it's time for you to consider maybe a reset. Every time that you're choosing that, you're delaying your dreams, not only of the size you want to be, but maybe depression, maybe not feeling worthy, maybe brain fog, maybe not going after your dreams. But today, you can take your power back. You can make the choice to rewire your brain. I hope this is the most powerful Lisa lesson you have ever heard. Take a dopamine hack and start today. Which dopamine hack are you going to use? Are you going to go outside? Are you going to take a walk? Are you going to put on some music? Are you going to use that powerful statement? It is not the food, it's the dopamine addiction. You don't want the chocolate, you don't want the pastry, you don't want the bread. Those things may be good, but if you're overweight, if it's ruining your life, if it's keeping you from your goals, if you're in a brain fog, if you have low energy, if you're insulin resistant, if you can't tell hunger from fullness and you're hungry all the time, if all of these things apply to you, then it very well could be a dopamine addiction. And I've given you some great hacks today to be able to break the addiction. Hope you like what you heard today. I'm excited about this one. And you have the power to take your life back today. Just say no, find a hack, find an equal replacement, a natural dopamine hit. What's your natural dopamine hit? I'd love to hear and read your comments. I'll see you on the next audio Lisa lesson.